I say, yo, welcome to the BBW show, you feel me? We talk battle rap, basketball, and wrestling. And the topic today is wrestling. More importantly, we doing a new series on the channel called Who Better. It's where I take, sometimes the same wrestler, or sometimes I'm going to take two different wrestlers, and I'm going to compare them, and I'm going to give my opinion on who I think is better. The first one that we're going to do is Jon Moxley versus Dean Ambrose. Who's better? You feel me? Now, the reports just came out earlier this week that Jon Moxley signed a 5-year extension with AEW. 5 years, you feel me? That's going to take him into what? 2027? So he's going to be in AEW altogether after this contract for 8 years. He was on the main roster for 7 years. He's going to be in AEW longer than he was in WWE's main roster. That's crazy to think about. You feel me? That's crazy to think about. And then also, this is like the 10-year anniversary on the Shield debut. That's crazy to think about too. I'm not going to lie. That's crazy to think about. It's been 10 years since we had the Shield. And then it's like, I feel like people are going to stop comparing Jon Moxley to, I feel like people will stop going to referring Dean Ambrose to the Shield and only talk about his Jon Moxley run. I'm not going to lie. I might get to that point because I feel like Roman Reigns is at that point. Where Roman Reigns right now, him as the tribal chief in this whole bloodline storyline thing, I feel like that has surpassed him as the guy in the Shield. When he was the quiet assassinator, I feel like his current run has passed that. I feel like Seth Rollins, to an extent, has passed what he did in the Shield. You feel me? So, Jon Moxley, let's talk about it. He was never the guy in WWE. He was never the guy, the number one guy. You feel me? He's been the guy in AEW for the last 3 years. Say what you want. He's been the guy, the number one guy in AEW. He's been a 3-time world champion. He was the first ever 2-time world champion. He's been the guy for them. You feel me? He's been the flagship superstar for All Elite Wrestling, respectfully. In WWE, he was never that. Dean Ambrose was never the guy in WWE. He was always second fiddle to Roman Reigns, and then sometimes second fiddle to John Cena, sometimes second fiddle to AJ Styles. I remember that in 2016, Dean Ambrose was second to AJ Styles. SmackDown was the house that AJ Styles built. You feel me? And then it's crazy because it was these times where he was what they called it, the Iron Man of WWE, where he was wrestling like 800 matches a year or something, where he was just going crazy, but he was never the guy. You feel me? He even had a WWE title reign. He's the one that can say the only time we had the Shield triple threat, where we had Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. Only time that has ever happened after the Shield, Dean Ambrose won that match. You feel me? Battleground 2016. Dean Ambrose won that match. First time ever, and it could possibly be the only time ever, we got the Shield triple threat. Dean Ambrose won. You feel me? That's a big stat. That's a fake big stat. But he has no WrestleMania main events, no Royal Rumble wins, no none of that. You feel me? No none of that. So, I feel like, and then in AEW, he's done everything. You feel me? He's done everything. He's been a tag team guy with Bryan Danielson. Right now, he's in a faction with the Blackpool Combat Club. He's done almost everything in AEW. You feel me? He's done almost everything. He's done almost everything in AEW. And then he still get to go to New Japan from time to time. So, it's not hard to believe that if Jon Moxley is better than Dean Ambrose. It's not hard to believe that. The thing that I feel like is a pushback is his appearance. You feel me? This look, he didn't look like this the entire time as Dean Ambrose. He only looked like this his last year, whenever he came back from his arm injury. That's when he cut his hair. He got way more Akia. That wasn't always the Dean Ambrose we had. You feel me? Dean Ambrose had the crazy hair, the leather jacket, little skinny. You feel me? Once he came back as this transformation, I should say, he's been a whole different person. You feel me? Whole different person. And his matches, you feel me? Say what you want. I'm not the biggest fan of Jon Moxley matches because I feel like they all the same thing. Like, it's all blood, you feel me? Bleeds in every match. But he's the only one that does that. Nobody else wrestles a Jon Moxley match except for him. You feel me? Nobody in AEW, nobody in WWE, New Japan, Impact, none of that. Nobody wrestles a Jon Moxley match other than Jon Moxley. So I feel like that's a plus. He's the only one doing that specific match right now. He's the only one that bleeds every match. He's the only one that does damn near a hardcore match every match. You feel me? He's the only one in wrestling that I can feel like says that. You feel me? In my opinion, though, who would I rather have? Jon Moxley or Dean Ambrose? I'm going to go with Jon Moxley. I feel like his promos have been way better the last 3 to 4 years since he's left WWE. I feel like I said, his matches may not be better, but they are his matches. You feel me? They're his matches that only he can do. You feel me? And it puts a better light on him. I feel like his AEW run, honestly, he's been the guy in AEW for the last 3 years. The guy. Even with Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Kenny Omega, CM Punk, all of these big names, Jon Moxley has remained the top of the food chain in AEW. So if I had to choose between Jon Moxley or Dean Ambrose, I'm going to say Jon Moxley, for my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Follow me on Instagram at HRW_podcast. Follow me on Twitter at hoops_wrestling. I'll be back with more.